Fine.
Okay, we'll do that. Hey, welcome. This is Live with Calvin. We are here today for our live show with Calvin Decimito coming to you live from Hawaii. Hey, Calvin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm fine.
So today we're talking spiritual discernment, and you want me to read Psalms 139, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so pull up let me pull up the Bible app, U version, on my phone. I imagine most of you people out there in YouTube world have U version. So let's go to Psalms chapter 139.
yeah,
Is that what you said?
yes,
Did you say chapter 139? Or
yes.
is it? Okay, I didn't realize there's that many chapters in Psalms. 139, verse what?
The one
What
says,
verse?
Oh God, you have searched me."
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know which one that is. I'll start off on verse 1. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Was that the
Yeah,
one?
yes,
Okay, so that's Psalms 139, chapter 1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and art acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, it is high, I cannot attain unto it. So, why did you want me to read that one for this show? What was the
because
purpose?
I think Glenn doesn't have discernment on what is right and wrong.
Well, let's go ahead and, leave the other guests out of the show. We're talking spiritual discernment, and I need to, I don't want to talk about any particular people on this show. Does that sound okay, Calvin?
Yeah,
So
but
when you
so
say
do
when you say when you say spiritual discernment, what exactly are you discerning? People's intentions?
yes,
So like for instance, with your situation, when you got injured, after you spent time in the hospital, you said that you have a hard time discerning people's intentions. Is that correct?
yes.
Why you think you're too trusting?
I've been always trusting. Like I
So how
said,
could you
like I said before, I'm like a baby. I would trust anyone.
but that's what God told you to do, right? He said he wanted you to be the messenger and come into the world when he met Jesus.
Yeah,
And he told you to actually come into the world as a kid and teach people, right?
yes. But people always used to pick on me. Back, I could remember when I was like 15 years old, I got beaten up so badly.
Oh my gosh. You think
What?
people, you know, it's just weird how when people perceive someone weaker than they are, they have this feeling that they, instead of uplifting them, which a truly successful person does, uplifts those below them. There's other people who think that in order for them to succeed, they got to push others down. And I don't get
Yeah,
that. That's just a weird.
yeah, that's why I don't get it either. That's why I wanted to talk about this,
Talk
you
about
know?
discernment.
Yeah.
So, what were the red flags that you saw thinking back that made you, that you think looking back, say that you should have said, hey, that's a red flag. Why didn't I see that person's intentions?
Because I was paralyzed. I couldn't do anything.
No, what I'm saying is, now that you know, that you can discern people's intentions from, because they've already, it's happened to you. Looking back on the incident, what were the red flags that, you know, maybe the lessons you learned to get better spiritual discernment?
Well, just watch. Just be aware of the way they
Keep your
move.
keep your eyes open.
No, keep your em, listen with your ears and your emotions.
Just and try to pick up on whatever kind of nuance things that maybe you wouldn't notice before.
Yeah.
Has there been a situation in your life, like let's say your daughter, for instance, where you're trying to show her or teach her spiritual discernment?
That's a bad question to ask
Why is that a bad question?
because her nana wouldn't appreciate that.
Hmm. But you're her dad. I mean, anyway, we won't talk about it. It just seems like you know you could teach her these things.
Her nana thinks I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm doing.
Lord have mercy. These people don't know anything, Calvin. I mean, you. We were sitting here talking about John Travolta, and you remembered what show he'd been in, and I couldn't even remember the show, nor could I remember the name of the character he played. But you instantaneously remembered that stuff. I don't get it.
Because people are dumb. Let me tell you something. People say things when they have no idea what they're even thinking or saying. I tell you the truth.
Yeah, and that's part of being spiritually discerned is you've got to pick out the fly shit from the pepper and determine, you know, what clues you got to listen to so that you can see what people's motivations are. You know, we've got a lot of people on the Walk of Faith channel who are from other countries and they're very, uh, you know, caught up in the world, and maybe they don't have Jesus Christ yet. So we're out here proclaiming Jesus because we want people to see that there's a solution to their problems, and that's following Jesus Christ, that's following the Bible.
I live this. People say they want something, but yet they just want to take advantage of your kind heartedness.
It's a shame
What?
that people take advantage instead of trying to utilize their resources.
No, they are stupid because they don't know what they have inside. If they knew what they had there inside of them, they wouldn't be like that.
It's kind of like this whole COVID situation. There's people are so stupid that and the intentions are obvious that they want to lock down, they want to close down, they want people to be stuck behind their masks. And we here at Walk of Faith are anti-maskers. We're proclaiming Jesus. We're proclaiming faith. And it seems like nobody has any faith. They think something that's completely invisible is going to kill them. And they don't have any fear of the God who's
Let me
invisible. That
let me ask you something. What proof
yeah,
do they have? What proof do they have? They don't have proof. They only see what's on the media, and the most times the media lies.
absolutely. I found that in the course of my investigations into uh, different the 2016 election, uh, the media was lying constantly in regards to the conservative candidates. They were basically character assassinations and whatnot. They were always some sort of character assassination attempt. So you can discern that through the media if you use
That's
spiritual
why.
discernment.
That's why people always lie about me, and they don't know the truth, but they still jump to the wrong conclusion.
I mean, right now we've got a situation in our country, Calvin. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but did you hear about the laptop?
No.
You didn't hear about Biden's son's laptop?
What?
Apparently, uh, Joe Biden's son, what is his name? Hunter Biden had a laptop that had been recovered, and it was sent to Rudy Giuliani's office. And apparently, on that laptop, there were several images of uh, Hunter Biden torturing and sexually raping young underage girls.
You really believe that? That's a
Oh
little
yeah,
far fetched.
no, I
That's a
believe it
little.
because he's a crack addict. There's lots of evidence, and he's openly admitted he was addicted to crack.
When you do crack, you go crazy. You don't do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, he's a nutcase. This Hunter Biden guy is crazy, and I'm scared for our country. If that guy gets elected, because
That
apparently the
guy,
Chinese have all. I guess the Chinese have a honeypot operation. These are all Chinese girls supposedly.
that's never gonna happen. I'll tell you why. You know why people are going against Trump? It's because of everything people read, but that's not true. You gotta
Yeah.
make your own. You gotta make your own decision. Your
Well, we'll
own
see. We'll
decision.
see. I'm firmly in the camp of really not voting for either candidate. I'm really fed up with the whole political system, to be honest with you, Calvin, because I know what's going on. I know that both parties are trying to clamp down with the COVID situation, trying to use that to further their globalist agenda.
Do you
So
know,
I'm,
do you do you understand politics?
oh yeah, I've got a pretty good idea of politics. And yeah, I'd like to see that basically both sides get unelected. I wanted to see a third party come in and start making some progress in electing new candidates. Hawaii needs that. I mean, look at Hawaii, perfect example corrupt government that keeps people oppressed through laws and regulations. Well, you're talking about getting out of Hawaii, right?
Not in that situation.
I thought you were leaving Hawaii because the economy sucks so bad there. Or you were
In
thinking about
that,
it, right?
yeah, but it's basically to do with the people here. People here, they stink. Their attitude stinks. Their manners stink.
In what way, Calvin? Explain. I'm not familiar. I'm not from Hawaii.
They have no manners. They think that we owe things to them. And you see, that's not what God wants.
So they think that they want government handouts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's why they all want to go under Biden because he thinks he's the next Dashiki.
And the shiki.
Yeah,
So like he's going to provide government handouts.
yeah.
Yeah, Biden's carrying on this whole agenda that what's his name? Oh gosh, the crazy guy?
Obama?
No, no. He was actually somewhat rational compared to these people. Bernie Sanders. It seems like Bernie Sanders had this agenda of like giving away everything for free. Vote for me and I'll, put
And
money in your
and
pocket.
and you cannot get anything for free because sooner or later it's gonna run out.
Oh yeah, that socialism is only to keep the wealthy wealthy and keep the poor and make everybody poor. And we're living in a world where it's going to get more and more socialistic. I mean, it's getting crazy. They're regulating here. Like when I went to have my wedding, we had a roasted pig at the wedding. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it Philippine style on an open flame. The guy who roasted our pig literally could not do it at my house because he had to roast it inside a trailer, according to Alabama law. You can't roast a pig out in the outdoors. You have to roast it inside a covered vehicle. Well,
I
the problem the problem is they can burn trash in outdoors here. You can openly burn trash, but you can't roast a pig. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They regulate that, and I mean, you go to the Philippines, they're roasting pigs outdoors all the time.
Yeah, before days they could do that because the government now stinks.
So it's like even in this great state, the quote unquote great state, red state, right, of Alabama, mostly Republican, where they where they try to claim that they're conservatives and capitalists. They have creeping socialism here.
Yeah.
They can regulate how we cook our pigs. I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's why when we used to roast a pig, see, my grandfather had one shed in the back of the house, and we used to roast a pig in back there,
Yeah, like a shed area.
and we used to have the motor rotate the pig.
Isn't that cool? I mean, here, if you did that in Alabama, you'd be jailed.
Arrested.
Yeah, arrested and jailed. But they would let you burn your trash. So what is the purpose?
That don't make too much sense.
No, it does not. And that's the problem with creeping socialism is it's just like these masks here. Everybody has to wear masks. I mean, California, you know what they're starting to do now? They're trying to say in California, you have to wear your mask in between bites. So even if you're eating, you still got to wear the mask.
That's why in Kiao, when I wasn't wearing a mask, I almost got arrested.
Lord have mercy. These
Wow.
mask cards are everywhere. They call them, you know,
And I said to the cop, "What about you? You're not wearing a mask, so don't talk."
what did he say?
He said, "Oh well, sorry."
So the cop actually came up to you and told you you have to wear a mask. Huh?
Yeah.
No, I've had several people. I went to a store yesterday, Kohl's, in fact, and the worker looked at us with a very stern look and said, you need to be wearing your mask in this area. And I just looked at her sternly and said, I'm not going to, ma'am. I'm not going to wear the mask because I have a heart issue. And right now we're talking, which we were. We were talking. And you can't talk to another person when you're wearing a mask. It's almost impossible. So,
Actually, you can, but it'll be hard to understand.
yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's hard to understand. So I was like, lady, shut your mouth. This is my business. It's not your business. And I'm not going to participate in the fraud, which you guys are participating in a fraud.
It's not
This
a
whole thing is a
fraud.
fraud.
It's not a fraud. Let me tell you
Well, well,
something.
can you prove that that this virus exists? No, you cannot.
It doesn't exist, but it's not a fraud. It's like they're lying out of their teeth.
Yeah, to try to
Cause
perpetuate emergency state of emergency that doesn't exist.
no, they're trying to make us get more sick because we're breathing in our own carbon dioxide.
Yeah, breathing in carbon dioxide, and also they want to enforce vaccinations on us, and they want to push more and more vaccines on us because the pharmaceutical industry has more lobbyists in Washington D.C. than there are congressmen.
Nope, they want to make us get the chip so we can be controlled better. Because the vaccination is actually a chip. They can control us.
Yeah, and I personally, I'm fed up with this, Calvin. So I'm spiritually discerning the situation, but everybody around me is not spiritually discerning it. They can't even see it. It's weird. The whole world is in a big fog. They believe in this mass garbage, and they don't have any discernment whatsoever, and it's kind of scary. I'd say this is the biggest example of people not using spiritual discernment. What would you say?
I think they feel sorry. Let me tell you something. They don't feel sorry for you. They feel sorry for themselves. That's why they're too scared to see the truth. They feel scared and sorry for themselves. That's why they are scared to admit defeat.
Yeah, they
You know
don't.
what I
They
mean?
yeah, they're scared that there is no emergency, and that they've created this whole mess, destroyed the economy over nothing, and
Yeah,
they don't want to admit that their hypothesis is incorrect. So they keep pushing this and pushing it, and now they're talking 2 or 3 years. They're talking like 3 years of this crud.
yeah, that's why when I was walking Kia with my mask pulled down to my chin, this cop said, "Put on your mask. Where are you going without your mask?"
You're
Then
kidding.
no,
Oh my God,
what?
it's just horrendous. You're just walking and you're in the outdoors. You're not inside some building.
Yeah, and he doesn't understand that we need the fresh air to fight it. Because if we don't get immune to the virus, we'll never make antivirus.
Absolutely. How are you going to get any immunity if you shut off your oxygen supply? People are just stupid. They're really stupid, Calvin.
No, they're not using common sense. You know,
Well,
there's a level to stupidity. If you keep doing it, yeah, then that's stupid. I mean, if
well,
you do it and you keep and you know the end result, because President Trump beat it.
yeah. I mean, he was what at 2 days, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't even like the guy. I have no, predilections about telling everybody, how much I dislike him as a person. I have a feeling this guy was a creep, but I don't want to see him sick. I'm not trying to be down on the presidency. I still, I have respect for the office of the presidency.
That's why when this cop stopped me and told me, "Where's your mask? Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going across the street." He said, "Put on your mask." Then I came scared.
Yeah, this guy is ridiculous. You're outside of all things. That's
Do you,
insane.
do you think that cop cares? Only cares about his paycheck because a cop makes a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a racket. They got to make their quota of pushing the public around for the day.
I put it on in front of him, and when he left, I took it back off.
Oh, good for you, Calvin. Yeah, don't. I know that you got to do what you got to do just so you stop being harassed, but you know these guys need to learn. I mean, they're just even these are they think they used now they call them authorities. That's what the problem is, that in the old days they weren't authorities. They were to protect and serve, but now they are the authorities.
They are not protecting people, they're protecting themselves. They don't care about the people around them. I mean, some cops they do care about people around them, but some cops they don't.
Well, yeah,
You know,
it's not all cut and dry. It's like you got some that are good, but there's not some that aren't that good too.
what
So,
is
Calvin, what do you think as far as spiritual discernment goes?
you should
Um,
you should use your discernment on what you should do. You have your own mind.
yeah.
That's why I see people that use people to get where they are and forget about them. They're just lying to themselves.
Well,
What?
I agree. Well, unfortunately, tonight we don't have any guests on or any viewers on our channel,
That's okay. That's
but
okay.
we're just still putting some video out there, putting content out there. I appreciate you being on the show, Calvin.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just kind of running out of words. I think we better go ahead and cut this short. We're at 30 minutes now on the show, and I think we've talked about the spiritual discernment topic.
No, we
And
haven't because We discussed it, but we haven't actually talked about it because
Mm.
discernment goes much deeper than deciding what you should do. You should you should ask for Jesus to come into your heart, and then He will give you the discernment.
Oh, okay.
Cause I think Glenn doesn't have that kind of relationship with the one that sent us to him.
Well, remember, I like I said, let's keep the other guests off the show when we're talking about stuff on the show.
I'm not talking about that. You're thinking like I'm talking like all hard stuff. I'm just talking about like how people stretch the truth.
Well, I don't know. I'm not prepared to say anything on you know. Let's try to keep the topic on what Jesus is saying in regards to the spiritual discernment. I think that's a good point you had there.
What?
That people need to, when they want to be spiritually discerned, they need to ask Jesus to come into their hearts and minds.
Yeah, cause
That's
cause
true.
when I was paralyzed, I was laughing. I was thinking in my head, oh man, this is healing. This is healing. That's why I learned how to walk because I always thought of things as being like something to make me stronger.
Yeah. And so you were actually envisioning healing.
Yeah.
Wow. And so that does that help? That that help you physically heal?
Yes.
Just keeping that positive vision.
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. So, and you just pray about that too when you were in the midst of that situation, or
No, I can't like give it to Jesus. And He knows what to do about it because He knows my heart.
yeah, Jesus Christ is the heart knower. Well, do you want to have anything else you want to add on that, Calvin, before we cut out of here?
If have you ever thought about what it would be like if you had to grow up different?
Um, it really didn't cross my mind. No.
Well, when I was in a wheelchair and everyone was picking on me and I was crying, I was thinking about suicide. What crossed my mind is the amount of people that will be hurt because I had done that. That's why I couldn't do it.
Which is good.
Why?
Why? Because you don't want to be
Because
hurting people.
because I don't know why some people cannot handle it and they wanna actually do it and I had so many friends that did it.
Really? So you knew
Yeah.
people that were in your same kind of situation, and then they ended their life.
No, they were like you, normal, but and they didn't know how to handle depression and they did it. So I don't understand how someone that has everything wanna just throw it away.
Well, that's why I wanted to talk, tell you that, there is nobody quote unquote normal. People have their own problems and issues. Doesn't matter if they're physically or mentally, you know, fully disabled or if they're fully good or whatever. Just, everybody has issues. And so that's why I'm saying just try not to approach people with the attitude, not you, but I'm saying most people need to approach other people with an open mind and say, not assume things about other people. You never know what people are going through.
You mean to be diverse?
Yeah, to try to think open minded.
So, how would you deal with? Picture this. Just imagine, okay, if you was like me, how would you deal with it?
Uh, I mean, I did deal with it. My brother committed suicide.
No, I mean dealing with being different from everyone.
I can't say how I would deal with it because I'm not in the same situation you are. But I mean, you just don't know. You know.
But I can empathize with you. How come you can't empathize with me?
Well, I can assume things, but I don't want to assume. Because I imagine it would be depressing and I'd have issues. I just don't want to put myself in your shoes because then it's kind of an insult to you because it's like I'm saying, okay, I would handle it different than you, Calvin, but
But I'm, but
but
I'm,
maybe I wouldn't.
but I'm,
Oh, hey,
a-
Calvin, I've actually got to cut the broadcast. I got to get going.
okay. But I'm asking,
Well,
you
we'll
know,
save that question for the next broadcast, okay, Calvin?
okay.
All right, I'll see you later, Calvin.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you for being on Live with Calvin. This is Live with Calvin. We're cutting the broadcast. I'll see you later. Aloha. Hang on, trying to stop it.